Like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. But there's a Dr. Mundo rework confirmed, as well as several new champions and other things in the champion roadmap for June 2020. Reeve is back with the newest champion roadmap, including teasers on upcoming champions, champion updates, and more. A dreamy jungler, masked assassin, and thrill-seeking marksman. Plus, who's up next for VGU? Hey all, now that the Fiddlesticks and Volibear VGUs you voted on last year are out, we thought it'd be a good time to go into more detail on what's next for the champion team. Let's start with a broad overview of where we're heading, and then we'll share a little bit about the next 3 champions in development and announce our next VGU. Updating our approach. As I mentioned in the season start champion video, we'll be focusing on new champions for the rest of the year. Back in 2018, there were a lot of champions in need of a full-scale rework, so we put our resources into bringing champions like Swain, Aurelia, Nunu up to modern standards. Since 2018, we've updated 12 champions, and we feel like we've gotten through most of the champions in critical need of a VGU. Of course, there are still champions that can be improved, but the amount that can be improved has lessened. This has caused us to rethink our overall champion strategy. So to be fair, what they're basically saying is that there's more champions that definitely need a rework, but not to as much of a scale as those champions. So some people are going to be like, well, what about Nocturne or Singe and stuff like that? They probably do too, but not as to a level as the champions they've already done, but they're still probably going to touch on those in the future. No worries. For one, we thought about the role of new champions and what their main purpose in League was. The main reason we continue to release new champions is to add new gameplay for people to engage with. For many players, new champions are like mini expansion packs for League, and we always see huge play rates on new champions when they are first released. Even if you don't pick them up yourself, seeing new champions in your games adds more to learn and master. That being said, we think it's important for all players to get at least one new champion in their role a year. That way they have something new to try and can maybe even add a new champion to the rotation or find a new main. With that goal, we felt it was important to try and release 6 new champions a year, 1 for each position with the exception of mid lane, where we're targeting 2 because mid lane is actually the most important role in the game, much to everyone's complaints or celebration. Mid lane is the most popular role in League, and mid lane assassin players are looking for something quite different than mid lane mage players. Since many people often enjoy mages and assassins, we're aiming to release a champion for both audiences every year. We may not always hit these goals, as we don't want to push champions out that don't really meet our quality bar just to hit a target, but it's what we're aiming for starting in 2020. What we will be working on VGUs, just a slightly slower cadence, as we see a lot of value in bringing older champions to modern standards while hopefully exciting champion mains. In fact, we'll be announcing an update for a champion who goes where he pleases later in this blog. And with that, why don't we pull the mat as we get right into 3 champions coming this year. Dreams of a new jungler. Jungler mains have been longing for a new champion for a while now, and it just so happens that we've got one blooming soon. In the last update, I told you we couldn't decide if we wanted the new jungler to be an assassin or a skirmisher, but the dream dust has settled, and behind it with a new mid-range skirmisher frolicking in and out of the fray. Eep! I couldn't say anything else, but maybe, possibly, we could find her instead. Be very quiet though. She can be very shy, and if we startle her, she may prance into action, darting off as our vision starts to get blurry and hazy. The world around us is becoming slow. No, we have to stay awake, but so warm and safe. Must sleep. Ah, okay, so Sleepy Trouble Bubble, the champion. In and out of body experience. Ah, did I fall asleep? Am I dreaming? The last thing I remember was purple dust and the sound of someone skittering away. Where am I? I feel a presence inside me, something dark yet dormant, something I subdued. Is that masked figure in the distance me? I'm holding 2 weapons. I recognize one of them, and the presence inside me recognizes the other. I temper my rising anger into something cold, like the steel in hand. Suddenly I feel a spiritual tug from the direction of the masked figure. For me? The tug becomes a yank, and I feel my subconscious pulled toward my body, accelerating until I slam into it. Whoa, what just happened? I feel like I stepped out for another world, or perhaps a tale told long ago. Now that I'm back, let's get back to the roadmap. After the jungler, we'll be releasing a new assassin. We'll get a chance to form bonds with both champions in a big summer event coming next month. So for those that don't know, because I don't keep track of the calendar date specifically, June 20th is the first official day of summer. We're on June 4th right now, so about 16 days. A little over 2 weeks till summer starts. Probably not going to be hitting as soon as summer starts, but we're a lot closer to summer than you might think. 2020 is kind of blowing past. Calling all thrill seekers. Do you like to laugh in the face of danger, like Simba? Do you enjoy stringing together abilities, creating stylish new combos? Does the idea of diving straight into the fray, firing a whirlwind of bullets and blades, and hopping back out with a sliver of health excite you? Kind of not really. It's like, what, Jin and Vayne? What is going on here? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then we may be releasing just the champion for you. A new marksman, dressed to slay, coming later this year. I don't know about that one, Riot, because the last time you said a risky marksman, that marksman was Kai'Sa, and there was nothing really risky about her. Yeah, her ult let her dive into the enemy team, but you guys gave her a shield, so what's the risk there, right? If you get a shield, how risky is diving? It's like Jinx riding her super mega death rocket into the enemy team, and then she's squishy and will probably die, because she doesn't have a shield. Just saying, I'm not inserting my Jinx bias, but this is a Jinx channel, so I have to insert my Jinx bias. A VGU that goes where it pleases. The next champion update will be none other than the madman of Zon himself, Dr. Mundo. This project is very early in development and is scheduled for 2021, so expect to see a few new champions in between the marksman and Mundo. The reason we're sharing this so early is because we saw a strong positive reaction from players when we did the dev blogs for Fiddlesticks and Volibear. So it's something we want to do for Mundo as well. We aren't going to go into more detail about Mundo's VGU here, as we'll be releasing a full post next week that'll cover up super early exploration phases for his gameplay, narrative, and art. Outro time. That covers everything we wanted to talk about today. Sorry we weren't able to find the new jungler. What a weird experience that was. I'll be making sure to keep my wits about me for the roadmap later this year. We'll talk about 2 of the other new champions in development. Tune in next time to hear about a sensational mage. Oh, so Scar from Lion King will be a mage now. Great. And an ultra heavy tank support, which will round out our goal for releasing 1 new champion for each role this year. We're also still planning to hold another Choose a VGU poll since the last one went so well. Expect to see that either later this year or early next year. We can't wait to see all these champions out of our hands and into yours. Until next time. So with that being said, let's run down some of what we talked about. Some new champions, a new jungler that's kind of like a skirmisher fighter. I said Sleepy Trouble Bubble, the champion, but that's going to be interesting to see them later on in the year. A new marksman that hopefully will actually be risky, because that is one thing about, like, I was kind of not joking about Kai'Sa. That Kai'Sa was supposed to be like the next kind of risky champion, and I feel like when you give a champion a shield or something like that, you kind of minimize that risk then, and it's not really as risky. Not saying Kai'Sa's like immortal or unbeatable or something like that. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying that's why I threw that in there a little bit. It's like, that's not really risky if you mitigate the risk by doing stuff like that, I feel. That's opinionated. Mundo is an interesting one because he was on that list along with Nocturne and Shyvana. They didn't win the VGU, Fiddlesticks and Volibear did, and that's why they got reworked. And so it'll be interesting to see like Mundo actually getting picked, because he kind of got voted a lot on that poll, meaning that for the next one, Nocturne and Shyvana are probably going to be returning to that poll, or Riot's just going to be like, hey, we're just going to rework them anyways. And that would be interesting to see the direction they go for all 5 of these champions in the long run. Because the Fiddlesticks and Volibear VGUs kind of do ring a little bit true in terms of like being close to what the champions were in terms of identity. Maybe not Kid, of course, and stuff like that, but even that, right? Like, people are like, Volibear's ultimate can disable turrets. What kind of foolishness is this, right? Bard says hello from like 2015 with his ultimate, by the way. But that, you know, things like that, right? Where when you look at these champions, look at some explorations and stuff that they could do. What do you think about it? What are you excited for, right? Like Mundo, the Purple Hulk of League of Legends, you could say. Do you want him to be kind of more like a Hulkish champion? Do you want him to still be like a Juggernaut? Is kind of core thematic? What do you feel it is? I kind of feel like, in my just personal opinion, he's a champion you pick when you want a lot of magic resist, right? Like Malphite's a champion, and Rammus you pick when you're going against a lot of AD threats, especially DPS. I feel Mundo is one of those champions you pick for AP on the side, on the opposite end. It was him and Galio. They kind of changed Galio a little bit, so maybe not so much Galio anymore, but Mundo's like that beefy kind of Juggernaut dude you want to get the Spirit Visage on, Warmogs, and kind of just run people down and be able to kill them. Not very fair to play against necessarily, but I feel like if they just clean up Cleaver's hitbox, that would probably solve that issue in my opinion. But also, yeah, there's a different and swarms of different ideas I could go with for this rework. What are you excited for if you're still watching the video at this point? And also just the other things, the new jungler champion, the new assassin, the fact they want to put out a new champion for each role once a year, which could be kind of interesting. It could also maybe get oversaturated a little bit in terms of like if they don't come up with new enough ideas. I feel like they're doing this because they can, but that would be fun to see going forwards. But you know what? If you watched the video this far, thank you so much for watching this video in its entirety. So I'm going to wrap it up with the outro, and in the comment section down below, comment with what you think, of course. But thank you so much for watching this video. Again, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Hit that bell notification, the actual subscribe button. But I don't know which video will be next, because life can have a lot of kinks. So until next time, take care. GG, get jinxed. Thank you for watching, and enjoy pizza responsibly.